Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The Aeon, al-dahr. The Aeon is duration without extension, and hence without limits. Endlessness and beginninglessness are one and the same, not merely from a certain perspective. It is sheer passionate love, unshackled from the relationship of lover and beloved. If you could observe the Aeon within linear time, you would see it running in every direction as fast as can be, fixed and stable in itself even as it moves. Then you would cease to have any concept of past to look back on or future to look forward to, but only the sheer dot of your existence. This dot is the span, al-Heen, of which the Almighty says in Surah Al-Insan, verse 1, هَلَ عَلَى الْإِنسَانِ حِينٌ مِنَ الدَّهْرِ. Has there come upon man a span of time in which he was a thing unremembered? The span is not linear time, it's not zaman, nor a moment of measured time, waqt. It is the disclosure site of the Aeon, a sheer divine matter. It is the wellspring of the spiritual opening and uncovering of what lies beyond the veils. Within it, all that was is folded up, and all of existence from top to bottom is collected. It is the servant's portion of time itself, of time with a capital T. I said of this in a verse, between the spindle and the distaff lies the secret of intimacy, and quote how without how from the science of the hidden, the thread of extended illusion which for us is linear time, while the moment for us is the measure of mortals. When the span came as you were in the womb, you were born alive, though before you were dead, a span of time wherein you are a firebrand, one of the realities of the sublime essence. Ask not how, for the how is hidden in the sacred valley, the disclosure site of illusions. It is a gathering of the otherness that was dispersed, a folding up of everything in heaven and earth. When it comes to you lovingly and you taste its sweetness, a drought that is in capacity a vision of impossibilities. For how can the eye gaze upon its own manifestation, or can negation and affirmation coexist? End of poem. An authentic hadith on the authority of Abu Bakr tells us that the Prophet ﷺ says time as zaman took on its circular form on the day God created the heavens and earth. A year of 12 months, 4 of which are sacred, 3 successive, being Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Muharram, and Rajab, the month of Mudar between Jumada and Sha'ban. What month is this? His companions replied, God and His Messenger know best. He was silent until they began to wonder if he would call it by another name. Finally he said, Isn't it Dhul Hijjah? They replied, Indeed it is. He said, What place is this? They replied, God and His Messenger know best. He was silent until they began to wonder if he would call it by another name. Finally he said, Isn't it the city? They replied, Indeed it is. He said, What day is this? They replied, God and His Messenger know best. He was silent until they began to wonder if he would call it by another name. Finally he said, Isn't it the day of the sacrifice? They replied, Indeed it is. He said, Then each of your blood, property, and honor is sacred upon you, as sacred as this day, in this city, in this month of yours. You will meet your Lord, and He will ask you about your deeds. So do not fall into unbelief or error after me, striking one another's necks. Let those who are present convey this to those who are absent, for many a man understands what he hears better than the one who conveys it to him does. Now, have I not conveyed the message? This is a hadith that's agreed upon by Bukhari and Muslim. The part of this hadith we are interested in presently is his words, quote, time took on its circular form on the day God created the heavens and earth. Time took on a circular form, with stillness bound up with motion. This is in order for us to understand subsistence through annihilation, and comprehend stillness through motion, and know reality through illusion. Thus, time is the measure of the result of the motion of reciprocity. It is, as it were, both motion and the absence of motion, since its disclosure site is stillness. All the possibilities manifested to infinity, and the unqualified expression of this is stillness. Each present moment is the container of what was measured out in pre-eternity, the time before time. The present moment is the servant's share, for it is through it that he understands essential meaning. The moment is the connection between reality and the disclosure site of its descent. This is why it is said that, quote, the Sufi is the child of the present moment, and so the Shaykh of the age is called the master of the present moment. To illustrate this, you can think of the Aeon as the center of a circle. That central dot represents al-dahr, the Aeon. The periphery is time, as zaman, and the present moment, al-waqt, is the radius that connects the dahr, the Aeon at the center, to time on the periphery. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد.